you need to pay close attention to what is happening right now. Because this is one of those situations where the real story is not loud at first, but the more you listen, the more you begin to understand that something serious is going on behind the scenes. In Zimbabwe, the political atmosphere is becoming tense again, and this time it is not coming from the usual opposition voices. It is coming from someone who has been inside the system for a long time, someone who used to defend the government strongly, someone many people trusted to speak in support of leadership. That is why what he is saying now is getting so much attention. The name is Rutendo Matinyarare, and his recent statements have started a conversation that is spreading fast across the country and even beyond. Now, listen carefully, because this is why it gets interesting. For years, Matinyarare was known as someone who always spoke in defense of Zimbabwe's leadership. He talked about sanctions, he talked about foreign pressure, and he explained many of the country's problems as things coming from outside. Many people believed him, many people followed him. So when someone like that suddenly changes tone and begins to question leadership directly, people do not ignore it. They stop and they listen. And that is exactly what is happening now. He has started asking questions that are not small questions. He is talking about performance. He is talking about development. He is talking about whether the promises made to the people have truly been fulfilled. And when he speaks, he does not just speak emotionally. He brings examples. He brings numbers. He points to roads, infrastructure, and basic things that people see every day. Now think about this for a moment. When criticism comes from outside, it is easy for a government to respond. They can say it is politics, they can say it is opposition, they can say it is people trying to gain attention. But when the voice comes from inside, it becomes harder to dismiss. And that is why this situation is getting serious. At the center of all this is the current president of Zimbabwe, Emmerson Mnangagwa. His leadership has been under review by many people, but now the conversation is shifting in a different way. It is no longer just about the opposition speaking. It is now about insiders asking direct questions. And once that begins to happen, you know that something deeper is going on. Before we go further, if you are following this story and you want more updates like this, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. It helps us bring more detailed breakdowns like this, and you will not miss anything important. Now let's continue. As the conversation grows, another name keeps coming up again and again, and this is where things begin to move from simple criticism to something much bigger. The name is Tagwirei. Now, this is not just any businessman. This is someone many people believe has strong influence in both the economic and political space in Zimbabwe. Some people even say his influence goes beyond business into decision-making areas. Whether that is fully true or not, one thing is clear. His name carries weight. So when discussions begin to connect political leadership with powerful business figures, people begin to ask more serious questions. Who is really making decisions? Who benefits the most? And what is the direction of the country moving forward? These are not simple questions, and they are not questions that disappear quickly. As Matinyarare continues speaking, many people believe he is not just talking about performance anymore. They believe he is pointing to a bigger structure, a system where power, influence, and leadership are all connected in ways the public may not fully see. Now, let me slow this down so everyone can understand clearly. In many African countries, politics and business often move closely together. This is not new. But the problem starts when people begin to feel that the connection is too strong, or that decisions are not being made in the interest of the public. That is when tension begins. And that is what we are seeing signs of right now. At the same time, there is another layer to this story that is making it even more serious. And that is the conversation about the future. What happens next? Who leads after? How long will the current leadership remain? These questions are now being discussed more openly. And that alone tells you something important. Because normally, such conversations are kept quiet. But once they become public, it means different groups are already thinking ahead, planning, and positioning themselves. Some discussions have even linked powerful individuals to possible future leadership roles. Whether that is true or just speculation, it has added more attention to the situation. Now imagine this kind of environment. You have internal criticism. You have public questioning. You have business influence being discussed. And then you have future leadership conversations happening at the same time. That combination is not small. That is a situation that can grow into something much bigger. If you are still watching, this is the kind of story you do not want to miss. Please like this video and subscribe, because we are breaking this down step by step so everyone can understand it clearly. Now let's go deeper. Another development that caught attention was a quiet but important visit from the President of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, who met with Mnangagwa. This was not a loud public event. It was more private, more controlled, and that made people even more curious. Because when leaders meet quietly during a tense period, it often means they are discussing serious matters. Some believe the discussion could be about stability in the region. Others believe it could be about internal matters in Zimbabwe. Whatever the reason, the timing made people pay attention. Now let's bring everything together slowly. You have unexpected insider speaking out. You have leadership being questioned. You have powerful business influence being discussed. You have future leadership conversations starting to show. And you have regional leaders paying attention. When all these things happen at the same time, it is not something you ignore. It is something you watch carefully. But here is where it becomes even more important for everyday people. Because beyond all the politics, the real impact is always on the citizens. When there is uncertainty, it affects the economy. It affects jobs. It affects investment. It affects stability. And that is why people are paying close attention to what is happening now. Some believe this could lead to positive change, where pressure from within encourages better governance and stronger accountability. Others believe it could lead to internal struggle, where different groups begin to compete for control. And some people believe it may come down with time. But from what we are seeing, the conversation is not slowing down. It is growing. And once a conversation like this grows, it becomes harder to control. Let me ask you something at this point. Do you think this is just normal political talk, or do you think something bigger is happening behind the scenes? Drop your opinion, and do not forget to like this video and subscribe, because your engagement helps this channel grow and brings you more updates like this. Now listen carefully as we continue. One of the most powerful things in any political system is trust. When people trust leadership, even difficult situations can be managed. But when questions begin to rise from within, that trust starts to shake. And that is what makes this situation important. Because it is not just about what is being said, it is about who is saying it. Matinyarare's voice carries weight because of his past support. That is why his current position is creating reactions. Some people support him, some people disagree with him, but nobody is ignoring him. And that alone tells you the level of impact. Now, let us look at the possible direction this could go. If the leadership responds positively, listens, and addresses concerns, it could strengthen the system. If internal disagreements grow, it could lead to more division. And if powerful individuals begin to position themselves for the future, it could change the entire political landscape. These are the possibilities. And that is why people are watching closely. Because this is not just a moment. It could become a turning point. If you are still here, you are getting the full picture, and I want you to stay with me. Like this video and subscribe right now, because the next part of this gist goes even deeper into what could happen next. Now, let me pause here for a moment.